Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Stevie Marie, the smile behind StevieMStarks, and today is a little different. We're not talking about natural hair or makeup. We're chatting about motherhood. So kick off your shoes and relax your feet, because I'm starting a brand new series on my channel called Things First-Time Moms Should Know. This is the first video in this series, and it's all about labor and delivery. So if you're ready to get into this video, just keep watching. So if you're pregnant, you most likely know that you will be giving birth either vaginally, via C-section, or via emergency C-section. And for those who don't know, if you have an emergency C-section, you could be awake the whole time, or they might put you under, so you might be asleep for the whole delivery. Now, I know that you've probably heard or read multiple birth stories, but I want you to know that your birth story will be different from any other that you've heard or read. Now, there might be some similarities, but it will not be exactly the same. With that being said, I'm going to share my birth story because I don't know anybody that's had the exact birth story that I have. It all started in February 2020 when I was asleep, and all of a sudden it felt like I peed myself. So I wake up and I am sitting in all this water, and that's when I realized that my water broke. Now mind you, my doctors told me that
you most likely won't have your water break at home because it doesn't really happen, and a lot of people think that it does happen because they see it in movies or in shows, but don't be surprised if it doesn't happen.
And Lord and behold, my water breaks at home. So I'm freaking out. I wake up my whole house. We're in Japan. I wake up my mom, my dad, and my husband. I'm like, we gotta go to the hospital. My water broke, which was a shock to me because I had not been feeling any contractions. So my husband's like, well, let's just call the doctor and see if we really need to come in right now. So we call the doctor, and the doctor's like, well, yeah, you can come in. Let me check to see how many centimeters dilated you are. That's another thing. Nobody told me that cervix checks hurt. Now, yours might not hurt, but for the people who do experience a little pain, I want you all not to be in the dark like I was. Because when I tell you that not only was it uncomfortable, but it hurt me. And I was shocked by that too, because I was like, nobody ever told me that. So here's your warning. If it does hurt, I want you to be able to say, Stevie told me. You're welcome. And so yeah, they're checking my cervix, and I'm only like a centimeter dilated. And I'm like, oh wow. So I'm only a centimeter dilated and my water broke. So do we go home? And since there was nobody really in the hospital at the time, my doctor told me that we could stay just in case, I start to open up quickly. So 3-4 hours go by and I only got to 2 centimeters. And then that's when they were like, okay, we're going to put a balloon in you. Before we get too far along in this video, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and welcome to the family. And if you're not new, welcome back. Now, I had heard about that balloon, and I did hear that it was painful, and they are correct. It is painful. But we thought that the balloon was going to open me up a little more. Yeah, it only opened me a little more. I literally only got to about 4 or 5 centimeters, and I'm like, oh my god, we have to get this 8 centimeters. We have to get the 8 centimeters. That's all I kept saying. So we wait a couple more hours, and I open up to 6 centimeters. And now the contractions are a little heavier. I start to actually feel them. And we're all excited because my doctors are like, okay, normally when they get to 6 centimeters, it's only a matter of time when you just start opening. And so I'm like, okay, I need the epidural. And this is a tip for my first time mom. If you know that you want epidural, make sure you put your order in sooner than later, because you don't know how many patients the anesthesiologist has before you. And you don't want to get to like 7 centimeters and you're in pain and you're just like, I need the epidural now, but you gotta wait an hour or 2 hours for the anesthesiologist to get to you. So put your order in sooner than later. So I get the epidural. I'm feeling good. I'm just like, okay, come on 8 centimeters. Come on 8 centimeters. It is over 24 hours now and I'm still at 6 centimeters. So my doctors want to give me Pitocin to kind of speed the process up. And I had always heard that Pitocin, you know, increased the contractions. The contractions were coming, but I was not opening. So they decided that it would be best to deliver the baby via C-section because my water had already broken and they just didn't want any bacteria to get into her. So I was like, okay, whatever we need to do to deliver a healthy baby. So we get ready for the C-section and I have my husband and my anesthesiologist, shout out to Sparkle. And Sparkle warns me that I might feel a little nauseous, and that's when they are moving my uterus or touching my uterus. Y'all, I had never heard of that before. Ever heard of that before. None of the people that I had talked to before who had a C-section told me that they got nauseous. So when I started to feel nauseous, I was like, wow, this is new. Why have I never heard of this before? And I promise you, every time they touched my uterus, y'all, I got nauseous. To the point where I told my husband, honey, I'm going to need you to stop talking to me because I'm going to throw up. I didn't throw up, but I felt like I was going to throw up. I believe the only time that I did not feel nauseous during that whole process was when I heard her cry because I was so overjoyed, and when they sewed me up. I was so glad when they sewed me up because I did not feel sick anymore. So yeah, I just want to let you know so you're not caught off guard. If you do have a C-section, you could possibly feel nauseous like I did. I was taken back to my room and I was numb for the waist down. I don't remember how long I was numb for, but I do remember them having to come around like every hour or two, pressing on my stomach just to make sure that there were no blood clots. And I remember being told that that was painful, but it wasn't painful for me. I'm not sure why it didn't hurt me as much, but it did not hurt me. It felt a little uncomfortable, but there was no pain. And I remember walking and walking and walking because they just wanted to make sure that I was up and the blood was flowing, and I was exhausted, but I was also so excited to have this beautiful baby girl. Then I got to go home earlier because my recovery from the C-section went beautifully, and I was so excited to get home to start this new chapter of my life of being a mom. So that's the end of my birth story. I am so excited for your birth and delivery story. I just want to remind you again that yes, you are going to hear so many stories while you're pregnant, but don't let them freak you out because your experience will be uniquely yours. There might be some similarities, or it could be completely different than any story that you've heard or read. Just enjoy the birth experience as much as you can and get ready to meet your little one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you share this video with a first-time mom that you know. Also, in the comment section, let me know if you learned anything new in this video. I want to hear all about it in the comment section. Until next time, bye.